India's parliament witnessed yet another high-octane showdown between Rahul Gandhi and the Bharatiya Janata Party today. The Lok Sabha LOP was armed with a severe indictment of the Modi government's quote-unquote incapable leadership. To substantiate it, he read out parts of an unpublished memoir of a former Indian Army chief. The ruling BJP immediately took objection. They questioned him over the veracity of the claims and how could he read a passage of a book that has not been published. The Lok Sabha speaker also pulled up the Congress MP saying he can't quote from any book or article in the House. Rahul Gandhi hit back sharply, saying what he was reading out was in national interest and not defaming the Indian Army at all. He added that the words he was reading out was that of a former Indian Army chief. Rahul Gandhi says whatever he read out was 100% authentic and he still stands by the statement. So what exactly happened in the Lok Sabha today and what has the former army chief said? Hello and welcome, I am Shubham Chauhan. Let's get started. So the Lok Sabha came to a grinding halt today as Rahul Gandhi's speech triggered a massive political storm seconds after he began speaking. Here's what happened in a nutshell. Rahul Gandhi stood up to reply to the motion of thanks on the president's address. He wanted to raise a matter of national security and counter BJP MP Tejasvi Surya, who allegedly questioned Congress's patriotism. Rahul turned his attention to the India-China conflict at Galwan in 2020. For this, he relied on former Indian Army Chief retired General Manoj Naravane's unreleased memoir. An excerpt of this was published in the Caravan magazine a couple of days back by Sushant Singh. The headline of the article is Naravane's Moment of Truth. An Army Chief's unpublished memoir exposes how the Modi government spun the China border crisis. As Rahul Gandhi began reading this excerpt published by the Caravan, BJP leaders objected. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, Union Home Minister Amit Shah spearheaded the attack on Rahul Gandhi. Rajnath Singh demanded that the Lok Sabha LOP must reveal whether this particular book had been published. Singh said it has not been published and hence it is not appropriate to refer to them.
And I quote from an article that is quoting his book. The tanks were within a few hundred meters of Indian positions on the Kailash range.
No, sir, no, sir, no, sir. No, only started. No, he is not yielding. He is not yielding. Sir, this is not. He is not yielding. LOP is not yielding. He is on the foot. Different minister cannot involve. How about it? He is only starting.
क्या वह पुस्तक प्रकाशित हुई है जिसमें यह सब सारी बातें उन्होंने लिखी हैं? यदि प्रकाशित हुई है तब तो आप उसका उल्लेख करिए, नहीं प्रकाशित हुई है तो उल्लेख करने का कोई औचित्य नहीं है। अध्यक्ष महोदय,
प्लीज एक मिनट। It is not wise, sir. What do you talk?
So this is 100% authentic. 100% authentic.
के माध्यम से ये पूछना चाहता हूँ लीडर अपोजिशन से,
Sir, Rajnath Singh is getting exercise because his name is going to be spoken just now.
प्रकाशित हुई है या नहीं हुई है, केवल मैं एक प्रश्न का जवाब इनसे चाहता हूँ अध्यक्ष।
Amid the chaos, Speaker Om Birla also threw the rule book at Rahul Gandhi. Birla said no book or newspaper clipping could be quoted on a matter not related to the proceedings of the House. The Congress disputed this, of course, saying it was a matter of national security. And as expected, the ruckus went out of hand, with the Lok Sabha being adjourned thrice within a span of a couple of hours.
इन सदन की नियम और परंपराएं हैं कि अखबार की कटिंग पर और अखबार की कटिंग के अलावा उन चीजों पर मेंशन नहीं कर सकते जो कोई ऑथेंटिक नहीं है। ये हमेशा यहाँ की सदन की परंपरा है। हाँ,
ये स्पीकर सर, ये गारंटीड ऑथेंटिक है। इसमें नारावाने जी ने कहा है कि उनका मेमोआर है, उसे सरकार पब्लिश नहीं होने दे रही है, इसमें सब लिखा है। और मैं सिर्फ इसमें से 5 लाइन पढ़ना चाहता हूं जिसमें नारावाने जी ने राजनाथ सिंह के बारे में और मोदी जी के बारे में बोला है।
जो पुस्तक प्रकाशित हुई ही नहीं है तो किस पुस्तक को मैं यहाँ पर उल्लेख करना चाहते हैं उनके बारे में?
माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, विवाद लीडर ऑपोजिशन ने ही समाप्त कर दिया है। वो स्वयं कह रहे हैं कि पुस्तक प्रकाशित नहीं हुई। उन्हें स्वयं स्वीकार किया कि पुस्तक प्रकाशित नहीं हुई है। अब जो पुस्तक प्रकाशित नहीं हुई है इसका जिक्र सदन में कैसे हो सकता है?
और प्रकाशित हो तो भी नहीं कर सकते,
मगर प्रकाशित ही नहीं हुई है।
Rahul Gandhi then doubled down on his comments outside Parliament as well, saying he has said nothing wrong. Whatever he said was authentic, and the government was just scared to hear its own indictment by a former army chief. So what has the Caravan magazine actually mentioned? It has cited an excerpt from General Manoj Naravane's unpublished memoir. Therein, Naravane wrote that on 31st August 2020, he had sought orders from India's political leadership to respond to Chinese tanks closing in, inching in towards eastern Ladakh. Naravane wrote that he had sought clear direction from Rajnath Singh, NSA, National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, General Bipin Rawat, who was the Chief of Defence Staff at the time, and External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. The former army chief wrote that he had one question for everyone: where are my orders? Naravane wrote that hours after first seeking orders, he had been told by Rajnath Singh that he had spoken with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and that the military was to do whatever it deemed appropriate. The former army chief wrote in his memoir that this implied that the Indian response was to be purely a military decision and that the onus was now totally on him. So that was about the Caravan article. But then comes another question. Where is the book? Why hasn't the book been published? A short answer is no government clearance. The long answer does raise some questions and eyebrows. So the book's name is 4 Stars of Destiny. It's an autobiography of General Manoj Naravane, former army chief. He was the Chief of Army Staff from 2019 to 2022. General Naravane was at the helm of affairs during the 2020 India-China Galwan clash. Now, just over a year after his retirement came the announcement of this autobiography, this memoir of his. It was published by Penguin, which is a reputed publisher. The book was supposed to be released in 2024. The publisher had announced that General Naravane's book is up for pre-orders. It was listed on websites like Amazon and Flipkart. Extracts of the book were released by media outlets in December 2023 in the run-up to the main release of the book. Now, one of the extracts that gained attention at the time was on the Agniveer, the Agnipath scheme of the Modi government. There, General M.M. Naravane wrote that when the Agnipath scheme, the tour of duty scheme, was announced by the Modi government, it caught the Indian Army by surprise and was a bolt out of the blue for the Navy and the Air Force. Those were the words he used, bolt out of the blue. Naravane revealed that the Army had proposed retaining 75% of the short-term recruits for long-term, but the final model retained only 25% after 4 years, with an initial salary of 20,000 rupees deemed unacceptable for soldiers risking their lives. Basically, General Naravane implied that the scheme was more driven politically than the Army's requirement as something that the government was trying to project the scheme as. This extract got a lot of attention in December 2023, and the very next month, January 2024, the Indian Army and Ministry of Defence called for a review of this book. Publisher Penguin Random House was ordered by the government, the Modi government, to halt sharing the copies of the book or even publish excerpts. 2 years on, we are in 2026 February, there's no word on when the book would be published. Platforms like Amazon cancelled the pre-orders once the government diktat came in. A few months back, that is in 2025, General Naravane was asked about this delay. He said he had done his bit by writing whatever he had to, and now it was over to the government to give the required permission and for the publisher to go ahead and officially release it. Now, just to be clear, we've had former army chiefs, raw chiefs, diplomats. Many of them have written books on their experiences and tenures way after their retirement. Now, the rules are such that sensitive operational details cannot be revealed by these officials without proper government vetting. Now, in General Naravane's case, what also seemed odd was that his autobiography came so soon, just slightly over a year after his retirement. But the question is, why was the book held back only after the Agnipath excerpt came out? Why was the book allowed to be pre-ordered and marketed all over if it didn't have a formal clearance from the government? Does the Modi government have answers to these questions? As Rahul Gandhi mounts yet another attack that has really bothered and even perhaps cornered the Bharatiya Janata Party. Do let us know what you think of this controversy in the comment section below. That's all we have for this report. Thanks for watching.